2 Olympic medalists disqualified within hours. Not for doping, not for bribery. Disqualified for what looks like nothing at all. The stage, the Nordic World Ski Championships. One illegal stitch that's about to pull the thread on an entire sport. Let me first explain why this matters. Ski jumping is huge. The FIS World Cup, the regular season of ski jumping if you will, pulls in 1.5 billion viewers annually. Total prize money runs into the millions. It's one of just 6 sports featured in every single Winter Olympics since their inception. And it's spectacular. Athletes hit 90 miles per hour. They fly through the air for up to 7 seconds. They cover distances roughly the same length as the Titanic. The marquee event, the men's large hill individual. Here, one nation towers above the rest. Norway. They sweep Olympic podiums. They dominate world championships. But dominance is fragile in a sport measured in centimeters, and fragility makes even the greatest teams turn to desperation. So, what exactly did Team Norway do? Well, it all comes down to the suit. The FIS, the governing body for ski jumping, strictly regulates every athlete's outfit. Size, material, fit. Everyone is tagged with a chip for identification and to prevent manipulation. Why such tight control? Because every thread counts. Back to the World Championships. Lindvik and Forfang have both finished inside the top 5. After the men's final, inspectors examined Team Norway's suit. Then came the discovery. An extra seam sewn into the crotch. Invisible to the naked eye, but enough to change everything. SideQuest time on the physics of ski jump flight. It's all about the V formation. When ski jumpers launch, they spread their bodies wide. The suit catches air like a wing, and that extra seam, it allowed their suits to expand beyond regulation limits. More expansion means more surface area. More surface area means greater airflow beneath the suit. Greater airflow beneath the suit means greater lift. Greater lift means greater distance. Simple. A recent study found for every few centimeters, drag increases by 4%, lift increases by 5%, equating to an extra 5 or 6 meters in distance. Norway's modifications made the suit larger, smoother, and more aerodynamic. That electronic chip, it was still in there. The suit looked identical, but the Norwegians had rewritten the rules through the end of a needle. Officials called it extremely high-level manipulation, invisible to the naked eye as I just mentioned, which begs the question, how exactly then did they get caught? Rewind to March 7th, the night before the final. A journalist captures something extraordinary, secret footage from inside the equipment room. 2 people appear in the frame, Adrian Littleton and Magnus Brevik. They're modifying competitive suits hours before the event. By Saturday, the video circulates privately amongst international media. This leads to a host of protests by other nations, all while the athletes are flying through the sky. After the event, FIS controllers immediately seize the suits. They find the illegal modifications, eventually, only by tearing apart the suit thread by thread. And by Sunday morning, the scandal goes global. Team Norway calls a press conference. They don't dodge, they don't deflect. They admit everything. The spotlight immediately turns to 3 people, Littleton, Brevik, and Thomas Lorben, another team member. Brevik admits it was a conscious act to gain a competitive edge and claims they feel like beaten dogs. Was this really the first time? Brevik insists that it was the first and only modification. With suspicion at an all-time high, the 3 receive immediate suspensions. But what about the athletes themselves? Did Lindvik and Forfang know? Both deny any involvement, claiming they would never have jumped in suits they knew were rigged. All 3 coaches back them up, and the FIS, they couldn't prove their involvement. As a result, both ski jumpers received suspensions of just 3 months, a slap on the wrist, which means you'll be seeing them at the upcoming Winter Olympics in Milan Cortina. But since the scandal, their careers haven't recovered. Lindvik is 16th in the World Cup standings, Forfang 18th. Every jump now carries questions. Online, the debate rages on. Some say innocent, others say guilty. Undoubtedly, their legacy is tarnished. Meanwhile, the FIS isn't taking any chances anymore. Shortly after the scandal, they disqualified 6 competitors at another event. Suit inspectors are now relentless. Fits are tighter, margins are smaller. The era of creative modification is over. By January, the 3 Norwegian coaches faced judgment. The FIS handed down 18-month bans and sizable fines. The federation called it a clear marker as to what is acceptable in ski jumping, but the coaches offered an interesting defense. Breivik argued that multiple teams had been experimenting with ways to gain better performance from ski suits and underwear. He wasn't alone, he was just the one who got caught, which raises a fascinating question. Why should this be illegal? Why not make suit design part of the competition? Let teams go crazy, push aerodynamic boundaries, reward engineering brilliance. It works in other sports like Formula 1. Design breakthroughs happen constantly, teams gain advantages, then regulations level the field for next season. Innovation drives the sport forward. So why not in ski jumping? Well, the purists have their answer. Ski jumping should test athletic performance, not design ingenuity. If suits go unregulated, the focus shifts from athlete to engineer, from human skill to fabric technology. There's also safety concerns. Suits that generate too much lift could send jumpers beyond landing zones. Unbound modifications could turn the spectacular into the catastrophic. And to be clear, suit controversy isn't anything new. At the 2022 Beijing Olympics, 5 athletes were disqualified over jumpsuit violations. Different teams, but similar issues. Ski jumping exists in a constant tension. Fairness versus margins, regulation versus innovation. And when the stakes are that high, teams will always push boundaries, sometimes too far. For a nation that dominates ski jumping, though, this scandal stings. A nation synonymous with fair play, now accused of cheating. The sporting director is, of course, keen to move on, focus on what lies ahead, which is a Winter Olympics where they're hunting a 5th consecutive victory at the top of the medal table. Will a scandal like this happen again? Almost certainly. Where there are rules, there will be rule breakers. Where there are margins, there will be manipulation. There's perhaps only one way to prevent suit tampering in the sport of ski jumping, but I'll leave that one open to your imagination.